Hi, welcome to the Learning Studio Zone. This is me, Sudias Ahmad. Today, I'm going to discuss a very interesting and important topic related to the language, that is linguistics. Most of the people get confused when they listen the word language and linguistics. So, language. Language is simply the system of communication used in a particular area, while linguistic is the scientific study of language and its structure. In linguistic, we study the whole aspects of language, like the sound pattern of a language, the structure of language, and the development of language. For example, if a study of English language, the study of German language, or the study of Urdu language. So simply we can define linguistic as the scientific study of language and its structure. Here we use the word scientific. So scientific means observation and experiment. So here a question arises, should we go for lab for our experiments? So the answer is yes, because we use the different scientific instrument for the sound of a language. For example, we use sonograph, we use the sound spectator, and we use the oscillograph, where the oscillograph convert the sound waves into the electrical energy. So linguistics focuses on the systematic investigation of the property of particular language and as well as it studies the characteristic of language in general. Here, a question arises again. Is linguistics all about the sound pattern in a language? So the answer is no, because in linguistics we study the whole aspect of language. In linguistics we study a language widely, like we study how language made, we study how the sound pattern of a language will be, and we study the structure of word in a language. So we can define linguistics as a whole as the nature, variation, and structure of language that include the phonetic, phonology, morphology, syntax, semantics, and pragmatics. Let's discuss the subfield of linguistics briefly. But first, phonetics. Phonetics is the subfield of linguistics that study the sound in a language. Here, we study the characteristics of speech sounds, like how sound produced or articulated, how sound travels in the air, or how sound understand or perceive, and how we identify the sound of a person. According to this, we have four different branches of phonetics. Number first, articulatory phonetics. Number second, acoustic phonetics. Number third, auditory phonetics. And number fourth, forensic phonetics. Moreover, in phonetics, we study the articulation, place of articulation, the voice sound and the voiceless sound, etc. Number second, phonology. Phonology is the subfield of linguistics that study the sound pattern in a language. Here we means the structure and arrangement of sound in a language. Like for example, here we have the two words machine and mechanism. Here in both we have the two same alphabets, the CH, but in machine we have the sh sound and in mechanism we have the k sound. So phonology study the arrangement of sound in a language. Moreover, in phonology we study the phonemes, the phones, allophones, syllabus, consonant cluster, it means the combination of two consonants, etc. Morphology. Morphology is the subfield of linguistics that study the structure of words. It means how words are made. It deals with the internal structure of words and their relationship among the words. Like for example, we have a word unhappy. So in unhappy we have two different morphemes. Number first, un is a stem and happy is a basic word which we call the root of that word. So one is the basic word while the other is morpheme. So here, moreover in morphology, we study the lexicons, morphemes, the type of morphemes like free morpheme, bound morpheme, inflectional morpheme, and derivational morpheme. Syntax. Syntax is the subfield of linguistics that study the how sentences are made. It studies about the sentences. It studies the arrangement of words and phrases to create a well-formed sentence. Like for example, we have a sentence, Ali goes to school, which is a well-defined sentence.
So we study the correct use of noun, verb, phrase, etc. to make a well-defined sentence. Moreover, in syntax we study the grammars, the prescriptive grammars and descriptive grammars. Moreover, we study the deep and surface structure and tree diagram, etc. Semantics. The semantics is the subfield of linguistics that study the meaning of sentence or that study the meaning of a language. It means it studies the meaning of words, phrases, and sentences. It analyzes on how words convey their meaning rather than the speaker meaning or rather than the speaker think of its meaning. So it studies the basic meaning of words and sentences. Moreover, in semantics, we study the semantic role, antonymy, prototypes, synonymy, hyphonymy, and polysemy, etc. Pragmatics. Pragmatics is the subfield of linguistics that study the practical use of language. Here we study that how context contributes to the meaning. It deals with how speaker or it is what speaker means or it deals with the speaker meaning. So it depends on the context and communicative intention of the speakers. Here we study the invisible meaning that how we recognize when words said. Moreover, we study and moreover in the pragmatics we study the context, reference, deixis, presupposition, and the speech act, etc.
Hope you will have got the idea that how we study language widely. Moreover, we have divided the linguistic into two different parts, the microlinguistic and macrolinguistic. Let's know about the microlinguistic and macrolinguistics.
As linguistic is a very broad term, so we have divided the linguistic into two different parts, the microlinguistic and macrolinguistic. Microlinguistic mean whenever we are gonna study a language on lower level. Like in microlinguistic we have language, a simple language. But on the other hand we have macrolinguistic. Macrolinguistic means whenever we are gonna study a language on higher level. Like in macrolinguistic we have the social linguistic, applied linguistic, and forensic linguistic, etc. Further, we have divided the language into the different parts, that every language has its structure. So, the structure of language has three different parts, like it has sound, it will has its grammar, and it will have its meaning. So in sound, we have two different parts, the phonetics and phonology, means the sound patterns and the characteristic of sounds. But in grammar, we have morphology and syntax. It means that in morphology, we study about the words, the structure of words, and in syntax, we study about the formation of a well-defined sentence. But on the other hand, we have the meaning in the structure of sentence. We have the meaning in the structure of a language. That is called the semantics. In semantics, we study the meanings of words and sentences in a language. Do you know why we study linguistics, or what are the importance of linguistics? So, we study linguistics because linguistics makes our language easy to learn. Linguistics tell us about the rules and regulation of language. Linguistics guides people to a new language. Linguistics defines the psychological aspects of language. Linguistics elaborates cultural aspects of language. Linguistics shows the rules of discussion. In language acquisition, linguistics helps in understanding how humans acquire language, which is crucial for education and child development. Cultural preservation. Linguistics assist in preserving and documenting endangering languages. So, thus, the linguistics safeguarding cultural heritage. Translation and interpretation. Linguistics facilitate an accurate translation and interpretation of language vital for international relations, diplomacy, and businesses. Educational linguistics. It informs languages teaching, methodology, and curriculum development, enhancing language learning outcomes. Linguistic research. Linguistic research contribute to advance in various fields, including psychology, sociology, anthropology, and neuroscience. Language planning. Government and organizations uses linguistic insights for language policy development and planning, marketing and advertising. Linguistics aids in crafting persuasive language in marketing campaigns by understanding consumer behavior and language preference. Media and discourse analysis. Linguistic analyze language use in media and discourse, providing insights into societal norms, power, structure, and ideologies. Cross-cultural communication. Linguistics facilitate understanding and appreciation of cultural differences, reducing the misunderstanding and conflicts. Linguistic identity. It helps individuals and communities affirms their linguistic identity and heritage, fostering a sense of belonging. Globalization. In the era of globalization, linguistics is essential for effective communication and collaboration across borders and languages.
Hope you will have got the idea about linguistics. We will discuss all these subfields of linguistics, the phonetic, phonology, morphology, semantics, syntax, and pragmatics in the upcoming lecture. So do subscribe my channel and click the bell icon for more videos.